Rachel Perry. Seether has been rocking out ever since they dropped their debut album, Disclaimer, back in 2002. And their current album, Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces, has been doing quite well. Its second single, Rise Above This, even climbed all the way to the #1 slot on the Billboard Alternative chart. Check this out. I recently had a nice chat with frontman and main songwriter Sean Morgan on the phone, and I learned quite a bit about him. So who are some bands that you would say you're influenced by?
I was hugely inspired by the early 90s bands like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Smashing Pumpkins, and female artists like PJ Harvey, Tracy Bonham, Faves in Toyland. I just liked that whole era, that whole time of music. I thought it was great because it was simple, but it was honest.
So as the main songwriter in the band, how does it feel to have your lyrics reach such a wide audience?
The fact that they can help other people is great. It's satisfying when somebody comes up and says, hey, that song helped me through a certain phase of my life, or this did this for me, or, it's a humbling thing. And it certainly is great to hear that, something that I started writing in a bedroom somewhere, or in a studio, and that was helping me through a certain phase, could also help somebody else.
All right, so what exactly is your songwriting process?
I mean, it's just me sitting with an acoustic guitar, or sometimes in a studio with electric guitar. So it's me with a little tape recorder and the old school tape cassettes and an acoustic, and then I just sit and come up with ideas. And sometimes those ideas become full-fledged songs immediately. Other times they don't. And when I go home, I just have these tapes that I sit and listen to, and I kind of go through all the ideas and see which ones I still want to use and which ones I don't. A very lonely process, and very much I sort of cut myself off from the rest of the world and disappear into the studio for days at a time sometimes.
You had the opportunity to go on tour with both Audioslave and Metallica. You got to tell me some of the highlights from those tours.
On the Audioslave tour, yeah, there was. I did. Chris Cornell asked me to do "Fell on Black Days" with him, and it's in the part where he does the acoustic by himself. So I went out, and I remember the first night I was so nervous I had to put my hands in my pockets because they were shaking so much. Because I remember being a 16-year-old kid doing a really horrible rendition of "Fell on Black Days," but it was it took me a while, and 10 years later, I was standing on stage next to Chris Cornell, and we were doing it together, and that was, I think that for me was to this day is unbelievable. I look at the pictures of it, and I see the videos of it, and I still can't believe it happened, because I think at that point, I was concentrating so hard not to mess up the lyrics. And as far as Metallica goes, just playing in a stadium, and they've got 45,000 people waiting for them to play, and it's our turn, and you look to the left of the stage, and all four guys are standing there. That was a pretty big deal too, because that's a band that's just legendary and has, I think, a place in every musician's heart.
Many thanks again to Sean for taking the time to chat with me. And if you're a fan of Seether and you want to see them live, now's your chance. They're currently touring the U.S. until mid-July. And be sure to tune in every Monday for another edition of On the Phone With, only on Sprint Exclusive Entertainment.